This week on Koine Corner, we're looking at the dynamics between Jesus and a paralyzed man at the pool of Bethesda in John chapter 5. John 5 tells us about this pool where multitudes of afflicted persons are gathered. They're waiting to be healed in the occasionally moved waters. We're told that there's a man there who has been an invalid or paralyzed for 38 years. And we don't know how much of his life is spent waiting there for the waters to be moved in the hopes that he might get to the waters first and be the one to receive this healing. Enter Jesus. Here we read John chapter 5, verse 6. All our readings today are from the ESV. When Jesus saw him lying there and knew that he had already been there a long time, he said to him, "Do you want to be healed?" 6 simple words. Do you want to be healed? In Koine, it's only 3 words. Let's take a look at it. Theles, hugies, genesthai. So theles is the present active indicative second person singular of thelo. And because it's a question, it's not just you wish, you desire, you want. It's do you wish, do you desire, do you want? Do you wish or desire or want what? Hugies, which is an adjective, which means healthy or sound. And then we get a complementary infinitive, the last word, genesthai, from ginomai, to become. Do you desire to become healthy or sound? So he sees this man. He's been an invalid for 38 years. The dominant feature of his life is his inability to walk and his need for this healing. And his question to him is, do you desire to become healthy or sound? Fascinating question. Great stuff. So the subject here is this you. It's the paralytic. Do you desire? Desire what? To become, complementary infinitive. To become what? Sound or healthy. The adjective serving as the object here, the indirect object. You become what? Healthy or sound. So let's take a look at the response of the man in verse 7. The sick man answered him, "Sir, I have no one to put me into the pool when the water is stirred up, and while I am going, another steps down before me." So I just want to focus on the beginning of the man's response here in Koine. Kyrie, Lord, Sir. Anthropon uk echo. So anthropon, a man. It's anarthrous, no article. We can take this as an indefinite man, any man, and we can certainly take it indefinite because we get uk echo, the negated verb. Echo is I have. Uk echo is I do not have, or I have no. Have no what? Anthropon, man. Lord, I have no man. When the waters are stirred, I have no man to get me down there and into the water. Look at all these people here. The competition is great for the opportunity, and I lose the race to the water every time because I don't have anyone to help me get down into that water and be first. In the race to the pool, I am the loser every time. So notice, I want to cut this guy a real break. 38 years. For some of you watching today, that's longer than you've been alive. His life has been dominated by this feature of his inability to get around. And so here, when he's asked the question, what was the question? Do you desire to become healthy or sound? The question is about his desire. His answer isn't about his desire. His desire is almost self-evident, right? Of course I want to be made healthy. I wouldn't be here if I didn't want to be made healthy. His response, however, is not about his desire, but about his resources or lack thereof. I can't get myself to the water, and I don't have someone here to get me to the water. And so in the race to the pool, I am a habitual loser. Pretty rough stuff, pretty difficult to think about. But I want to go back and circle around this one issue. Jesus didn't ask him about his resources, but the man's answer is about his resources. I have no man to get me into the water. So the interesting thing, however, is there is a man here now who's taking an interest in him, right? Jesus is here asking about his predicament. And we can interpret the man's response in one of two basic ways and say to ourselves, either he's appealing to the man who's showing interest. Lord, I don't have a man to get me into the water. I can't help but notice that you have some interest in my plight. Perhaps you could get me down to the water when the time is right. Or the other alternative is he's so past the notion of the desire. The desire is so baked into the cake that all he can see is the thing that's keeping him from reaching the desire. I can't do it myself, and I don't have somebody to get me down there. But now there's a man who's here, who's interested, who's asking. Let's carry on and read verse 8 and 9a, the first half of 9. Jesus said to him, "Get up, take up your bed, and walk." And at once the man was healed, and he took up his bed and walked. Let's take a look at what Jesus said to him first. Egere aron ton krabaton su kai peripete. So egere, rise up, stand up. Aron, take up ton krabaton su, the bed or the mat of you, your mat. So rise up, pick up your mat, kai peripete, and walk. Three imperatives. Jesus gives him a three-part command. Rise up, take up your mat, and walk. Notice what he doesn't do. He doesn't focus on the man's concern for a lack of resources. Lord, I don't have a man to help me get to the water when the water gets stirred. So Jesus doesn't say, let me help you get down to the edge of the water. And in fact, I kind of have an inside edge. When we get down there, I can almost guarantee the waters are going to get stirred. We can get you in there first. He doesn't do that, does he? He makes no reference to the man's profession of a lack of resources. He doesn't talk about that at all. He ignores the water being moved altogether. He references the water not even a little bit. And he doesn't make any physical contact with the man, right? All he does is give him that threefold order. Rise up, take up your mat, and walk. And let's look at the effect of it. Kai eutheos ageneto hugies ho anthropos. So kai eutheos, and immediately, so eutheos, notice the omega sigma ending is an adverb, and immediately, ho anthropos, the subject of our sentence here, the man. What did we know about this guy, the paralyzed guy? He had no man. But now we're told he's referred to as the man. And immediately, the man, ageneto, from ginomai, he became hugies, healthy, sound. So immediately the man became healthy or sound. Let's go back to Jesus' question and compare it to what happened here. Theles hugies genesthai. Do you desire to become healthy or sound, right? We unpack that thoroughly. Now look down, kaiutheos, and immediately ageneto. Ageneto and genesthai are from ginomai. They're both part uses of the same verb. So genesthai is the infinitive, to become, and here ageneto is in the indicative, he became. So Jesus wants to know, do you want to become? And here it says, immediately he became. Become what? Hugies, do you desire to become hugies, healthy or sound? Down here, immediately, ageneto, he became hugies. He became healthy, sound. The invalid said to him, anthropon uk echo, I don't have a man, I have no man. But here, ageneto hugies ho anthropos, the man became healthy. You don't need a man, you are a man, and the man who can help you is standing here talking to you, asking you if you desire to be well. Pretty magnificent stuff. With Jesus' involvement, with his commands to this man, the three-part imperative, the man without a man becomes the man, and the man who couldn't get into the pool in time doesn't go to the pool at all. Right? Jesus doesn't take him to the pool. Jesus doesn't send him to the pool. Jesus doesn't reinforce the notion of his need. I have no man. Don't worry about that. I can't get to the pool in time. Don't worry about the pool. The resources don't exist for me to overcome this challenge. Forget about the resources. Just do what I say. Rise up, take up your mat, and walk. The man who had no man listened to the man who showed an interest in him, who asked about his desire to become healthy and sound, and lo and behold, he became healthy and sound. That's all that it took. He didn't lack any resources. He just had to do what this man from Galilee told him at the pool. So, notice the repeats of the words and the themes in the story, and how the question of Jesus lays the framework for what's going to happen to the man. The response of the man doesn't lay the framework. The man's perception of his problem doesn't lay the framework. Jesus' question does. Theles, hugies, genesthai. Do you desire to become healthy? Why, of course, I wouldn't be here if I didn't. Okay, then get up, pick up your mat, and walk. And immediately, ageneto, he became hugies, healthy, sound. The repeated words, the repeated themes flesh out the dynamic of the story the day that Jesus canceled the pool party. Pretty great stuff. Hope that was good for you. If it was, like, share, subscribe, hit the little notification dinger so you know when there's new content. Leave me some feedback in the comments. Let me know what you think. And until we see one another again, Karis Kairene Humin, grace and peace to you.